Today on Nova Legends podcast, I'm going to talk about bringing back the doubleheaders, the regional tournament doubleheaders. And now, because of the way the regions are structured, at least doubleheaders in the state quarterfinal games for basketball. I went to Robinson. And Robinson would host, I was class 84. We would host the regional tournament every year at Robinson. And in some years, we even would host each round of the district tournament. So we'd be able to watch so many basketball games, especially when districts was there. But even the regionals, it was a tradition on Friday and Saturday night for you have a doubleheader for the regional final, the regional semifinals, and then on Saturday you had the final, the girls and the boys final. Um, Thursday would be the girls one year, and Friday would be the boys, and then the next year they would switch, and the boys would go early, and they'd have the doubleheader. So I guess it's a little bit tougher now because the Northern and Occoquan regions are separate, of course, and there's two districts in each of those regions. So they're different regions. So maybe it's a little bit different coordination. But back then, it was a social scene. You go to regionals, everybody would be there. Players would come back from spring break from college to watch. Players who'd been eliminated in the earlier rounds of the tournament would be there. Just Northern region residents would come watch. It was an event. It was a place to be seen. We couldn't wait to regionals every year. It was a big event. I know I came back from college, and I was in college to watch regionals. Eventually, it got moved to George Mason, and I think some would argue that we lost something when you moved it to George Mason, but it was still a nice event. It was still double headers. It was still great crowds, enthusiastic, and it was actually a little more professional at George Mason. So I think when you had it at the Patriot Center, it worked. I think Robinson is best because the crowd is right on the court and there's an energy there. But I thought George Mason was also a good environment. Well, somehow today there are no double headers. I know in the regional final for Occoquan and Northern, we're on separate nights, so we were able to go to watch Madison against South Lakes after watching the Madison girls beat Oakton, and then the next night I was able to go down and watch at the Occoquan region to watch Hayfield and Edison. And that night at Hayfield, there were people from all over to watch that game. All the South Lakes players were there. I saw all the Patriot players. Sherman Rivers' team all came up. It was there because it was the only game in town. So, we got a big crowd. If the games are all at the same time, remember you're asking neutrals to choose, and players who are playing, parents, fans of those teams, they can only watch their own game. They can't go to another game and watch, even though many would want to. We want to encourage that. We want to encourage people to watch high school basketball. We want to grow the number of supporters for the sport generally. Well, I interviewed many of the coaches this week, all the coaches that are alive in the state quarterfinals. I did one-on-one interviews with all of them. They're all so gracious, awesome. I enjoyed it. Good times, and I loved listening to them talk about their teams and talk about how successful they are. Great time. Well, many of them asked me, are you coming to my game this week? Well, I don't know how this happened, but somehow they schedule all the games for the exact same time. So all four games, the two girls games, two boys games, are all being played at 7:00 on Friday. By some scheduling glitch, the Robinson Oakton girls game has been moved back to accommodate schedules, which is great. But still, it's not enough where you can actually go see that game. So basically, we have four tremendous games. I know personally, I went to Robinson. I would love to go watch the Robinson girls play. I would love to go watch the Hayfield historic boys team try to repeat. I like to watch my good friend Kirsten Stone, Madison's team, play against West Potomac. Had a good interview with Brian. Love to see that matchup. I probably will end up at the South Lakes Edison game because it is an intriguing matchup on paper, and it fits my schedule because I have to pick up my son in Charlottesville on Friday for spring break, and we can stop in at Westfield. But let's face it, this is pretty ridiculous to put all the games at the same time. I mean, let's get some leadership here. Get the ads or principals, coaches. Let's get together and let's bring some common sense back. All right, we got two girls games. We got 2 boys games. Let's find a night and play the girls at one night and the boys on another night. Or let's have an Occoquan night one night. Have a night where our Occoquan team hosts the game and do a girl boy doubleheader on each night. Either way is fine. Let's make it so we can go watch all 4 games. Let's increase the interest in high school basketball in postseason. It's been a great season. Let's don't hide the games. Let's do this. Let's create a great postseason. It's not going to take much to do this. This is an easy change. Let's just find a place to have these doubleheaders so the fans, supporters, players, everybody, we want to watch all 4 games. Let's make that happen. Thanks for listening.